Folks, ladies and gentle cars, my name is Farkle8000, and welcome back to the December competition. This is the second to last competition of the 2025 season, and today we are running round number 2. We ran the highlights of round number 1. 5 competitors who raced in that video is going to be the top 5. Today we get one step closer and we determine the races to find out who the top 5 could be. We're running round number 2 here, 17 races. But before we truly get into things, I have to talk about the storylines. Because there may be 2 competitions to go, but there is plenty to talk about here. First off, the top 10 in points. This is 5th through 15th. Out of the competitors on this list, if I remember correctly, Voltage, Stingray, Shifter are advancing to round 2, I believe. Virtual currently, or was in 8th. He DNF'd. And then everyone else just didn't advance. So the numbers at the end of this competition is going to be very, very tight, especially with Virtual's DNF. Probably knocking him from 109 to either +9 or maybe closer to -9. But we also have this right here. We have not talked about Rookie of the Year all season long because Comic had it locked up until the last competition where he DNF'd and put it in the hands of Roadster and Mach. Roadster has it by 23 points ahead of Mach. They will both be racing in this video. They both advanced to round number 2. So how this race goes is going to be very, very interesting. They might be close enough to be racing in the same race as well. We got Rookie of the Year to continue to talk about. We have actually Rookie of the Year could also be the championship conversation too, as Demon didn't advance to round 2 of this competition. So keep a close eye on that Rookie of the Year battle between Roadster and Mach, because one of them could also come out of this with the championship lead. I don't know how much of that 101 points gap they can shrink, but they can probably shrink it by a pretty solid number. We've got Rookie of the Year, possibly the championship. We've got the competitors. We've got the top 10. Here's a reminder, by the way, of the competitors advancing. A lot of very strong competitors advancing. The end of round 1 was stacked with a lot of very strong competitors. A lot of great storylines running here as well. So how things work out here is going to be very, very interesting. So now I'm going to stop talking. I've talked, I think, long enough. I've kind of rambled here. There really wasn't much direction to this opening. And so let's actually get into a direction and start racing in round number 2. We begin round number 2 and the first of 17 races from right to left with Pullback, Oldster, Outlander, and Metrotech. And it looks to be Metrotech beginning to fall behind Outlander in the lead, but now he rolls on his roof. Metrotech squeezes by, he passes Pullback, and Metrotech will take the win. Pullback will DNF. So will Oldster. Outlander, the one who truly DNFs, he is on his roof. And I'm being told that this is Oldster's first official DNF of 2025. Just didn't have enough speed coming through that transition, didn't carry the speed to the line like he did in his round 1 race. The whole reason I say official DNF for Oldster is because he has DNF'd the last 2 competitions, but DNFs in the very first race of a competition do not count towards the DNF policy or anything like that. Pullback as well, unfortunately, DNFs. She, though, will come home in second. Metro Tech, the only one to finish the race. He takes the win. Next up, we've got Sierra, Pickup, Trunkless, and Ethel. And it looks to be a relatively even start coming through the transition. Trunkless flips on his roof. Ethel's off the track. Pickup's falling back. Sierra pulls on through to the victory. Pickup will pass Ethel just before the line. Ethel does get back on track. He'll finish the race in third. Trunkless, unfortunately, cannot say the same thing. He DNFs on his roof, just flipped around coming through that transition. And Ethel, not sure if he was reacting to the flip or just made a mistake on his own, but he got off the track. Pickup didn't get off the track, it seemed, but just slowed down. Sierra takes the win, and I believe for the first time in her career advances to round 3 in a normal competition. Next up, we've got Blackout, 10, Worldwide, and Zonda. And it looks to be a relatively even start, even through the transition. Now 10's on his roof. Blackout's off the track. It's a fight for the line. Worldwide wobbles, but he pulls ahead of Zonda to take the victory. Blackout was off the track, but she's back in her lane. Will unfortunately lose momentum due to that and stall out 10 as well. Will DNF. That was a great win right there for Worldwide. He avoided the chaos coming through that transition. We had a lot of NASCAR's DNF in lane 3 in the last competition. Worldwide running in lane 3, avoids that chaos, avoids 10 flipping right next to him, and then holds off a hard charge by Zonda to advance to round 3. Next up, we've got Vintage, 68, Cheetah, and Falcon. 68 in lane number 2 is the only veteran in this race. Everyone else are rookies. And it looks to be a relatively even start now. 68 falling behind. Now she wobbles and finds an extra gear. She pulls to the lead. Now wobbling. Cheetah's there, though. She bounces, but will take the win. And 68 takes the rookies to school. Man, what a drive right there. I said she was falling back through that transition, which was true. She was furthest back, but she used that momentum through the transition to perfection and just stormed to the lead, snuck by Vintage, snuck by Cheetah, and an absolutely incredible drive. 68 advances to round 3. Next up, we've got Velvet, Carvana, Rookie, Red Bull, and X8. And it looks to be X8, a big lead early, wobbling way in the air. It's a huge wreck behind X8, still on track. Red Bull is there, but X8 will hold on across the line. And it's chaos behind them. Velvet and Carvana will DNF this race. Velvet furthest ahead, so he will be placed in third. Carvana further back. Even though Velvet is in the wrong lane, neither competitor were making it to the finish line, so they will be placed third and fourth, respectively. X8 with a massive launch right there. Same with Velvet. Velvet unable to hold on. X8 nearly lost it as well, but I believe he used the roof of Red Bull to straighten himself out, and that slowed Red Bull down enough so X8 could gather himself back up. Next up, we've got Dragon, Gregson, Speeder, and Gibbs. And it looks to be Gregson with the early lead. The rest of the pack draws even with him. Everyone wobbles but keeps it clean. And it's a drag race coming to the line. It looks like it's Gibbs. Maybe it's Dragon as they cross the finish line. And it's going to be Dragon getting the win. I really thought it was Gibbs right there. I thought Dragon has actually got off the track. I had to stop myself from saying that, but I was very impressed that no one went wrecking through that transition. It's been a messy start. Dragon takes the win ahead of Gibbs. Next up, we've got Turbo and rookies Ziggler, Blocker, and Showman. And it's Blocker with the early lead, though the pack draws even with him now. Big wreck by Ziggler. He's between lanes. It's Blocker in the lead. He'll bounce to the win. And Ziggler's going to finish the race in the wrong lane. He will not activate his finish line piece. But he did cross the line. This is the second time this competition that this has happened. It happened earlier. But this one right here is an interesting scenario as everyone finishes the race. He finishes in last, but does he get finishing points? Because, I mean, he crosses the line, but he crosses the line in the wrong lane. So the finishing results are not changing, so we can show you that. Blocker gets the win, Turbo in second, Showman in third, Ziggler in fourth. And I'll have to update you at the start of the next race on our choice on Ziggler, because this is a very interesting situation, because he crosses the line. I mean, the rules state you gotta cross the line and trigger your own piece to truly get points, but I don't know. I don't feel right giving Ziggler a DNF, even though he didn't cross the line in his own lane. So definitely a lot of talking behind the scenes that have to go on with the results of this race. The only thing that really doesn't have to be discussed, though, is the winner. Blocker gets it and advances to round 3. So before we get into the next race, I just very quickly want to shed some light on the decision from the last race. Ziggler will not be getting full points, but he will not be getting DNF points either. I believe the DNF points Ziggler would have gotten is around 50 to 60 points. Ziggler will instead get half points. So the points he was originally supposed to get was, I believe, 132 points. Ziggler, that will be cut in half to 116 points because he crossed the line but not in his own lane. So that is what we have decided. So I guess we can mark that down as a half DNF in the record books. That is a very interesting stat to have. But now with that out of the way, next up, we've got Camara, Baseline, Fishy, and M3. And it looks to be a relatively even start. M3 falling behind. Now he flips on his roof. Fishy was in the air as well. It's Camara leading. Fishy wobbles, takes the lead, and will take the win. Baseline, I believe, snuck into second place as well just before the line. But M3 is going to D and F. It has been a terrible, terrible season for many regular contenders. I've mentioned Turbo quite a lot over the season, and I believe Speeder is in that rough season boat as well. M3 is in that boat too. He has had a very rough season. Finished, I think, like 11th or 12th in points last season. Was really thinking that he was going to be able to carry that momentum into this season. Unfortunately, the only momentum he carried was his bad luck from the end of last season, as M3 gets another DNF this year. I think this is his second or third of the season. I think next season's track is going to suit Baseline a lot better too, because he's had an uncharacteristically rough season. Finishes second place right here, which in hindsight isn't bad, but for a competitor who's gotten 5 wins over the last 2 seasons and placed third and second respectively the last 2 years, 26th in points is not great. So Baseline finishes runner-up here, but hopefully something to build on. Fishy gets the win, advances to the next round. Next up, we've got 13, High Point, Howler, and Fender. And it looks to be a relatively even start. Now Fender pulling ahead, bouncing there for High Point, but he saves it, and it's Howler in the lead. He bounces. Here comes Fender and High Point, but Howler will hold on to the victory. He'll take the win ahead of High Point. So High Point sneaks into second place right there. Fender, a really, really good launch. Unfortunately, he was unable to hold it. 13, very, very far behind. I have to rewatch this race to know exactly what happened to him. He was very strong in the last round, been very strong the last few competitions. Unfortunately, made it to round 2 in this one, so he was solid in this one too. Unfortunately, does not make it out of round number 2. Howler, though, he does, and gets the win, advances to round 3. Next up, we've got rookies, High Tech and Salty with Loves and Crystal. And it looks to be a relatively even start. Salty now pulling ahead, wobbling through the transition. Loves was all over the place too. It's an easy win for Salty. High Tech in second. Loves not too far behind in third. Crystal will take fourth, but Salty takes the win. I said it was an even start. It was when I said it, but like milliseconds later, Salty just proved his speed and pulled way ahead. Now that he is seemingly out of his rut, Salty is storming back to the front. He wants another win before this season is up. I think he has a great chance at doing so. Salty gets the win right here. The rookies as well finish 1-2. That is a very impressive run for High Tech as well. Next up, we've got Catapult, Flyer, Rookie, Valvoline, and a Horseplay. And it looks to be a relatively even start now. Horseplay and Catapult pulling ahead. Catapult way in the air into Flyer. It's 4 wide at the front now. Horseplay and Valvoline pull ahead. Horseplay will take the win, and Catapult and Flyer will stall out right before the finish line. That is a devastating result right there. Catapult in the same lane in round number 1 was Checkers. She took the win and was very, or at least relatively clean. And this one, in this race, unfortunately, she was Wreckers. Catapult takes out herself and Flyer. Devastating for Flyer as well. No fault of his own, but claims his first DNF on this season. Horseplay and Valvoline sneak through the chaos happening next to them, and Horseplay comes out on top. Next up, we've got the sophomores of Carrera and Club with the rookies of Custom and Shifter. Carrera in lane number 1 was 11th in points, or I guess is 11th in points, -7 to the cut line. Splitter did not advance. Elliott did not advance. Virtual DNF'd, and Diablo did not advance. I think Carrera right here has a fantastic chance to get into the top 10 and get a decent buffer. Shifter in the lane number 4 is also a part of the top 10 conversation. He is 15th in points though, -214. Shifter needs a miracle and possibly a competition win in order to get in to the All-Star New Year's Tournament for 2026/this year. And it looks to be a relatively even start. The outside lane's pulling ahead, away in the air there for Carrera. She's straight now and fighting 3 wide across the line. It looks like Carrera gets the victory. I don't know who comes in second. Shifter gets second place ahead of Custom. So the two competitors with the most to lose in this race finish 1-2, or I guess with the most on the line, I should say, finish 1-2. Shifter really just going for broke, and he nearly got the win in this race. Carrera a little worried about what just happened there through that transition she got in the air. I think it would have been smart right here to have lifted and let Shifter or Custom take the win. Though probably more Shifter because Custom was off the track going across the line. She does not though. I guess she wants the pure security. She wants to win this competition. Carrera advances to round 3. Next up, we've got Rookie Strip, Dual Fueler, 5 and Chevelle. And it looks to be Strip, a slight leak. Can he hold it? No, he flips on his roof. Same with 5. Dual Fueler drive to the line. He'll take the win. Chevelle will follow him through. And it's going to be a double DNF for Strip and 5. They will not finish this race. Devastating right there for Strip. A wild start for him right there. Could have gotten this win, but as we've seen too many times this season, he flipped on his roof due to too fast of a start. Could not hold it. 5 flipped over as well. I'm not sure if he was falling behind. I was too busy watching Strip, but Dual Fueler and Chevelle sneak on through the chaos, and Dual Fueler takes the win. Next up, we've got Shooter, Future, 67 and 3. And it looks to be a relatively even start. Maybe Shooter now beginning to pull ahead. He wobbles, and now he's straight, but they're 3 wide now, 2 wide as Future wobbles. 3 takes the win. 67 is off the track, but he will take 4th place. He will finish the race. It was Shooter coming through that transition. Then he wobbled and popped up on 2 wheels. Then it was 3 wide. Then it went down to 2 wide as Future and 3 pulled through. Future, it didn't look like it was the finish line bounce that got her out of shape. It just looked like she got out of shape on her own. And 3, the only one to keep it clean through the race, takes the win. Next up, we've got Rookie 4 tracks, Daylight, Chomps, and Tab. And it's Chomps a slight lead now. Bigley, can he hold it? He wobbles. It's a big flip for Daylight. It's 2 wide at the line. Chomps bounces 4 tracks, takes the win. Daylight's gonna finish the race on the track. I thought he flipped. Didn't he flip? Chomps hilariously comes back into view right there. But what happened to Daylight? How did he get back on track? I saw him flip. I'm like, okay, he's now gonna DNF. That really sucks. But now let's take a look at this fight for the win, which 4 tracks just barely bests Chomps for. But how on earth does Daylight finish this race? I gotta take a look at this. Let's see here. Start of the race. Through the transition, he flips, does a pirouette on his nose, and lands off the track. That's freaking awesome. Look at that. He could have landed straight. If things had allowed him, he could have hit this transition and flipped around and landed on, like, going straight. Instead, though, he does basically a full pirouette and lands back on his front. Or lands back in reverse. That was beautiful right there. And then right here, just barely finishes the race. An impressive save? Move? Action? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think we should call what Daylight just did, because I don't know, I feel like that needs a name or something. I don't want to just call it pirouette. That's just really boring. Daylight somehow finishes the race. Chomps just barely loses out to 4 tracks, the rookie who takes the win. Next up, we've got Rookie, the Bug, and Stingray with Voltage and Python. And we've got a lot of objectives in this video. Let's start with the outside lanes. The Bug and Python are not actually part of anything. They're just looking for as many points as possible, especially the Bug, who has been plagued by, I believe, 3 or 4 DNFs this season. He just wants to get as good of a points position as possible. Python has been on an incredible run recently, so just, you know, she wants to gain as many points as possible to take advantage of this. But now, the middle lanes, Stingray and Voltage, are the most comfortable in the top 10 conversation. Stingray is 6th in points, plus 205. Voltage, just 3 points ahead of her, 5th in points, plus 208. If both of them finish this race, they will be essentially locked in to the All-Star New Year's tournament in the top 10. So their biggest goal right here is really just to keep it clean. And it looks to be a relatively even start, wobbling now. Stingray on the side of the track. She's straight now. They're 3 wide. Now Voltage bounces. Stingray will edge them out for the victory. Python a long ways back in last. I was not expecting her to be that far behind, unfortunately. Just did not bring the speed to this race, but still a fantastic competition nonetheless. The Bug finishes in third, so the two competitors who needed to keep it clean went for broke and takes first and second. Stingray nearly lost it through that transition. A really good save for her. Takes the win right here. Bouncing to the line was Voltage. That lost him just enough speed to lose out to Stingray. This is the 17th and a final race of round number 2. It's an all-rookie race containing Roadster, Mach, and X-Racer. Roadster and Mach in lanes 1 and 2. Sit 1 and 2 in the rookie standings. Roadster leads Mach by 23 points. They're in the same race, so if one of them win this race, that gap is bound to shrink or flip entirely. They're also second and third in the full season point standings as well, with Demons round 1 elimination another big thing to watch for as well. They've got to steer clear of X-Racer, though. X-Racer, a very controversial win in the last round to beat out Comic and Elliott. Let's see if he can keep it clean in this one. Same with Roadster and Mach as well. Can everyone keep it clean to have an exciting race to the finish line? A race right here that means a lot. And it looks to be X-Racer, maybe a slight lead, wobbling through the transition. X-Racer now beginning to fall behind. So is Roadster. It's an easy win there for Mach. What on earth happened to Roadster? I said it was X-Racer falling back. I was very wrong. It just looks like Roadster just did not carry the speed through that transition at all. That is very, very worrying right there for Roadster. Mach takes the win right here. 23 points separate them in the rookie standings, and then the gap is going to shrink big time to the championship lead as well. So Roadster not carrying the speed right there, finishing third in this race. That worries me for future races. Hopefully she knows what she is doing. Mach right here takes the victory, a very important victory at that. And here are your 17 competitors advancing to round number 3. Some incredible drivers in this one, and only three competitors who have ever won in the Diecast Competition Series, those being Salty, Howler, and 3 in the last 2 races of this round. For competitors who could possibly win this race, or win this competition, I mean, you easily gotta look at Salty. That's a no-brainer right there. But this last race right here with Mach, Stingray, and 4Tracks, that is an interesting race right there as well. I kind of like the look of it. A very strong race right there. Some strong competitors. Stingray and Carrera, the only 2 competitors who advanced to round number 3 in the top 10 conversation, and Carrera really the only one with a lot to lose or a lot to gain. So 17 very, very strong competitors. They've beaten out more than 250 to get here. So let me know in the comments below who you think takes the win in these races, and then ultimately in this competition. We'll be back eventually for the final rounds of this competition. That's rounds 3, 4, and 5. We will crown a winner of this competition, and then we will set up for the last competition of 2025, or the season of 2025. 2025 is probably going to be over for at least a month by the time we truly finish the season, but I don't care. We're finishing this incredible year, and there's no one who can stop me. So, until then, until next time, my name is Farkle8000, and we'll see you later.